Now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Bride of Dracula. The Goddess Next Door and John Haynes team up to take on the Dark Vampire Lord in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Bride of Dracula in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Recently, singer Cardi B decided to interview presidential candidate Joe Biden. And I have a critical question to ask regarding Cardi B. Since when does being an entertainer make you a journalist? And I also have to ask, where are Cardi B's journalistic credentials? Now, when I take a critical examination of this video of Cardi B interviewing presidential candidate Joe Biden, it just shows how little respect Hollywood has for black people, because the only reason they have your Hispanic Cardi B interviewing Joe Biden is because your Cardi B is extremely popular with many black women. Now, your Cardi B interviewing Joe Biden is a lot like your Bill Clinton making an appearance on the Arsenio Hall show back in 1992. And that appearance on the Arsenio Hall show over 30 years ago was all about showing how cool Bill Clinton was and how relatable he was to young black voters. And this is the same thing being applied here with this approach towards black women. Your Cardi B is being used to try to make it appear that Joe Biden is cool to black women. He's somebody who is appealing to black women because they went out here and found a allegedly black woman, or somebody who black identifies, and they decided to have her interview Joe Biden, lobbing softball questions at your Joe Biden in an effort to show how politically aware your Cardi B was and how she's endorsing the right candidate for black women. This whole effort is nothing more than an effort to try to con the black community by going after who Joe Biden and the left believe is the most gullible group of voters, your black female. That's what's going on here with this whole Cardi B interview, because anybody who understands journalism understands that you can't ask someone with no journalism credentials to go out here and perform an interview, because that person is not going to ask the right kinds of questions that will allow us to get the responses that will allow us to assess whether we want to go out here and vote for that candidate. Because the whole interview with Joe Biden was not about us getting an objective analysis of Joe Biden's political positions. It was about trying to give us a slanted picture of Joe Biden and basically give us something that is just like propaganda. However, I don't really see it as propaganda. I see it as really unintentional comedy, because the whole idea of a Cardi B with her magenta-colored hair and her face caked in makeup, wearing that ridiculous suit, that was just so comical to me, because to see this woman trying to appear a so-called professional and looking like a clown was just embarrassing to watch, and just showed the desperation people have to try to get the black female vote to follow behind the left. That's what I saw in that whole so-called interview, a attempt to try to pander to black people and an attempt to pander to black women, which showed how weak the position was. Because when you have to go out here and pander to people and try to beg them for your attention, what you're coming from is a position of weakness. And the Cardi B Joe Biden interview came from an extreme position of weakness. It showed how weak the candidate was because he didn't want to take on hard questions or hard arguments. And it also showed how silly Cardi B was because to see this so-called entertainer trying to appear intelligent just showed us how ignorant this woman truly was. Because whenever this woman sits here and wants to talk about politics, all while she's making music videos that degrade the black woman, like this WAP video, it shows us that your Cardi B really is a complete imbecile and really is not somebody we need to take seriously. Because you can't sit there on one side talking about a WAP and promoting a pornographic video on one side and then try to go out here and have an interview with a presidential candidate and then try to make it look like something people need to take seriously. So I again ask the critical question for what most black people aren't going to ask. What are Cardi B's journalistic credentials? What are Cardi B's journalistic, what articles has she published? And why should we take her seriously as related to an interview with a presidential candidate when she goes out here and promotes prostitution as a social norm for young black girls and prostitution culture as something that young black girls should follow? This woman has no credibility whatsoever as related to presenting an argument for who we should vote for, because this woman promotes all sorts of degradation and debauchery among women and promotes prostitution culture among the same masses of women. And the only reason why she's coming out here to talk about politics is because she is being used as another one of these corporate shills to get black people to go out here and vote for whatever candidate they want them to vote for. But black people have to start taking their votes more seriously and stop taking their votes for granted, because we don't need a celebrity to tell us who to vote for. Celebrities are not the leaders of the black community, and nor should they be the leaders of the black community or persuade black people on who to vote for. These celebrities like Cardi B have no credibility because they already have a label on their backs. They're corporate shills, and they do the bidding of their slave masters. So black people need to understand that they are being conned and bamboozled, just like many people during my days in the 1992 were conned and bamboozled for voting for Bill Clinton. And they're trying to use the same approach, thinking that black people are inherently stupid and will fall for the same approaches over and over again. This whole Cardi B interview shows how little respect people have for the black vote and how little they regard the black vote. They want to come to you with a celebrity telling you that if this celebrity is down with this candidate, you should vote for them, but they don't want to come to black communities with any sort of tangibles as related to distributing resources into black communities, things like earmarks, things like government programs, and things like bringing black tax dollars back to black communities so that we can have good schools, we can have good roads and sidewalks, and we can have libraries with the most up-to-date books and the fastest internet. These are tangibles that black people want, in addition to wanting communities that are safe with police understanding that they have to protect the black community and not abuse the black community. We want tangibles, and we also want tangible reparations for slavery and tangible reparations for past and ongoing discrimination as related to impeding black progress and black economic growth. That's what black people want, and we're tired of the paternalism from both the left and the right, where they talk down to the black masses and think they can trot out a Sesame Street character like Cardi B, and because they dress up this Sesame Street character like Cardi B in a suit, they can try to persuade us to vote for that candidate. That's not acceptable in today's black community. Today's black people are tired of these cartoon celebrities coming out here and telling us who to vote for. No, you don't tell us anything anymore. We tell the politicians what we want in terms of tangibles, and if they cannot guarantee they're going to bring tangibles back to us, we will not vote for them. That's as simple as it goes. If you're not down with bringing black tangibles and a black agenda to black people, then black people have no reason to vote for you. And we are really insulted when you come out here with a cartoon Sesame Street character like Cardi B dressed up in a suit and try to tell us that this is a journalist. And that's an insult when you really think about it. Your Cardi B in a suit looks no different than Elmo in a suit or Gabriella from Sesame Street in a suit. And basically, these parties are saying that they see black people as children, and they're going to bring this cartoon character out here, and because you see the cartoon character with the politician, this is going to be the reason you vote for them. Basically saying you're so stupid that you'll vote for whoever is out here and supported by celebrities. And again, that game was played out 30 years ago, and we saw that that game didn't work in 2016. That game didn't work in 2018. And the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing and expecting a different result. And trying to talk down to black people is not going to work in 2020 as well. These candidates need to understand that you need to bring tangibles to the table, if you want the black vote. And if you don't bring tangibles to the table, black people are going to walk away from the polling place, because you vote for things that you get in exchange for your vote. You don't just vote for a party because they say the other candidate is bad. The orange man bad argument is no longer valid anymore, because nobody cares about those arguments unless you're bringing tangibles to the table. And if you're so allegedly desperate for these votes, then you would want to pony up some tangibles in order to ensure black people come to the polling place on election day. You wouldn't come out here with Cardi B dressed up like Elmo. No, you're going to come out here and say, I've got these tangibles, and if you vote for me, I'm going to deliver those tangibles because I really want this, not orange man bad, vote for the other guy. No, if it's that bad, you're going to bring something to the table to get that position that you want. This video will not be monetized, so I'm asking everyone to donate to the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct books and support me that way, you can do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, E-Steam: The Sands of Time. It's action and adventure in ancient Egypt in this terrific teen time travel romance. Get your copy of E-Steam: The Sands of Time at your favorite online bookseller today.